In 2019, I did a video of my Nintendo Direct predictions for that E3, so since we're actually getting an E3 this year, I thought I'd try this again. There are quite a few games that could show up this year, so here are my hopes and predictions for Nintendo's 2021 E3 showcase. Starting with some of the most likely games, I'm expecting to see updates on games like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. With Animal Crossing, it's been a while since there was a really significant update, so I think E3 would be the most logical place to announce a major update. For Smash Bros., it'll be about 3 months since the release of Pyra and Mythra by the time of E3, which lines up with the previous timing for announcing new characters. At this point, I don't really have strong opinions of who the final 2 characters should be, because most of the likely picks I wanted have already been added, and a lot of my remaining picks are fairly obscure and less likely. I do think it's likely that we'll get one more first-party character, and one more third-party character. Unlike in 2019, I think it's unlikely that both characters will be announced. I think we'll only get one character at most, with the final character announcement happening at a later Direct. I'm also expecting updates on previously announced games, like Mario Golf Super Rush and No More Heroes 3. Both games are releasing shortly after E3, so this would be a great time to show off new trailers and announce new features. Regarding Zelda, I'm really not sure what we'll see at E3. I think we'll see Skyward Sword HD, and possibly hear about potential changes and quality of life improvements to the original. I'm also hoping to hear more about Breath of the Wild 2, but I am expecting it to be a 2022 game, so I don't think we'll see it in great detail. There have also been rumors of a Zelda 35th Anniversary Collection, but I'm not sure if it'll be at E3 because that might overshadow Skyward Sword. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these announcements were saved for a Zelda Direct later in 2021. Assuming this isn't announced before E3, I also think it's likely we'll hear more about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's DLC. The pre-order bonus goes live at the end of May, so I think we might hear about it sooner than E3. In terms of third-party games, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more about Neo: The World Ends With You or Shin Megami Tensei 5. There are several games that are currently rumored that I hope get announced soon, like a Klonoa remaster and a Sonic Colors remaster. So far, most of the games I've listed are already announced, or games that are currently heavily rumored, but I do have a few predictions that are a bit bolder. This year is the Metroid 35th Anniversary, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get something for the series, whether it's a new game or a collection of previously released games. Based on when it restarted development, I think it's possible that we might hear about Metroid Prime 4 this year. I'm also wondering if Bayonetta 3 might finally resurface, because of how long it's been since the game was announced. I'm also hoping for games by studios that haven't released anything particularly recently, like Goodfeel. Yoshi's Crafted World was 2 years ago, so I think it's possible that they might announce a new game. I'm also hoping for a new game from Intelligent Systems. Fire Emblem Three Houses was co-developed by Tecmo Koei, so I think it's possible that Intelligent Systems could have been working on something else, like a Fire Emblem Echoes or a WarioWare. I'd also love to hear more about Monolith Soft. The studio has grown quite a bit in the past few years, so I think it's possible that they might be working on something new, even with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and their work on Breath of the Wild 2. I'm also wondering if we might hear more about the next game from the Super Mario Odyssey team, since that game was released in 2017. Finally, I'm wondering if we'll hear more about the Nintendo Switch Online service, specifically if more retro systems will be added in the near future. From the existing libraries, there are a couple missing games like the 2 Earthbound titles, but I also hope a new platform gets added, like Game Boy games or Nintendo 64 games. Moving on to games I don't expect to see here, I don't think we'll hear more about Splatoon 3 for a while, because I think that will be a summer 2022 game. Outside of the Zelda remasters, I'm also not expecting many more Wii U ports. A lot of the remaining Wii U exclusives aren't particularly well liked, like Paper Mario Color Splash or Star Fox Zero. Others, like Xenoblade Chronicles X, feel like they might happen eventually, but not anytime soon. With the popularity of Miitopia, I think we'll eventually get more 3DS re-releases, but not quite yet. Lastly, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I think a lot of dormant franchises will stay that way. I'd love to see a new Golden Sun or F-Zero someday, but I just don't think it's likely. So those were some of my Nintendo E3 2021 Direct predictions. I was off with many of my predictions in 2019, so I'm wondering if this video will age better or worse than the previous one. With Nintendo in particular, it's very difficult to guess what they're going to do, so I tend to keep my expectations fairly low. I'm curious to see how this E3 goes for everyone, and I hope there are plenty of great games that get announced. With that being said, thank you for watching.